Good afternoon. My name is Kim Hirsch. I'm the Executive Director of the Jewish Community Foundation of Greater MetroWest, and welcome to the second in a six-part series sponsored by our Jewish Community Foundation Center for Strategic Philanthropy. We expect as many as 80 people on this seminar, so we're very excited, and obviously it's a topic of great interest. So first I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. Today we're talking about Jewish Summers 2020. This is one of the areas in our community that has been pretty much turned upside down by the COVID crisis. As you know, people in workplaces, many people have been able to work remotely, schools have been able to teach remotely, but if you are unable to open your camp or can only open part of the way, it's a very challenging environment. Just wanted to let you know that this series that we are running is a way of informing both our JCF fund holders as well as Jewish community members about the response of our community to the COVID crisis. In terms of Jewish camp, I just want to take a step back for a moment and give you some background. Our Greater MetroWest community is nationally recognized as one of the leading Jewish camp communities in North America. We are literally among the top 2 or 3 communities in this field from a federation community-wide perspective. And that is really because of the long-term investment of many of our JCF fund holders, some DAF holders and supporting foundations, and as well as incredible investment of our federation. Our community was the first in the country to hire a full-time Jewish camp manager more than 10 years ago. That's Tracy Levine, and we're delighted that she will be on this webinar. She is our Jewish camp ringleader, planner, promoter, parent, and child advocate and guide, and our guide, and she is a camp connector, and she is in high demand throughout the country for advice and guidance. So we're super happy that she's part of our community and that she's here today. The Greater MetroWest Jewish Camp Enterprise is really an amazing collaboration among, as you can see on the screen, many parties. And as I always like to say, we could never do this. No one partner here could accomplish what we accomplish alone. It's really like an ecosystem, a partnership that works so well. Starting on the left side with our federation, of course, and our Jewish Community Foundation, our fund holders, as I mentioned, and we have a Jewish Camp Advisory Council of Jewish camp leaders through our JCF that oversees a Jewish Camp Fund. Our federation, of course, supports this through annual allocations, but also houses and coordinates the whole Jewish Camp enterprise. And so, of course, within our federation umbrella that's tied in then with our PJ Library, J-Teen programs, our Global Connections for International, as well as Greater MetroWest Able. Also, we are the sponsors, our federation is the sponsor of the Tour of Summer Camps NJ. That's our Jewish camp fundraising bike ride, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that. Of course, across the community, we're tied in, our camp enterprise is tied in with our JCCs, our synagogues, day schools, and more. And then, of course, we have amazing partnerships with our partner Jewish overnight camps, teen programs, day camps. And here you'll see we promote going to any Jewish camp across North America, but we have special partnerships with the camps that most of the majority of our Greater MetroWest children, youth, and teens go to, and you will see those logos here on the screen in front of you, as well as our JCC day camps. They're very strong and important partners to us. And one of the things we like to say is that our Greater MetroWest community has been able to respond to this crisis in 2020 because we were here in 2019 and here before that, and that is especially true of Jewish camp. Because we have this incredible infrastructure, we have been able to respond in the last few weeks with just amazing programs that you're going to hear more about. But just quickly, we have completely retooled our Tour de Camps NJ from a one-day event to a challenge. You'll hear more about that from Tracy. We also received a very generous grant from the Cooperman Family Fund of the JCF to offer alternative summer programs for children, youth, and teens across our community. Again, you'll hear more about that. And in addition to that, our Jewish Camp Advisory Council approved a grant of $200,000 in both direct grants and matching grants to camps that very much need unrestricted support now. So again, you will hear more about that later, but I just wanted to mention the response that we have had, that we have been able to pull together the last few weeks has really been extraordinary, and it's because of all the work and all the partnerships and investments from the many years before. So I wanted to just introduce as our first speaker, Yoni Stadlin. He is the founder and director of Eden Village Camp, the country's premier organic farm-to-table sleepaway camp. Take it away, Yoni.
Hi friends, I'm Yoni, camp director of Eden Village Camp, and today actually would have been the first full day of my staff training up at camp. So I guess today we can be in camp together, but it really feels like there's like two alternate worlds going on right now. The one where I'd be at camp training my staff, and the one that we're in. It feels, being a camp director this time feels like kind of being a sailor without a ship, or it's been really, really hard for me and for the whole field. Camp is the place where a lot of kids, that's where they go to get the I can do this, I can persevere, optimism. You get kids up on a high ropes element and I can't do it, and they learn that they can, or they can't cook this and they can. So when this whole thing started, a lot of camps jumped right in with that approach, because camps are known for that. We can do this. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. We teach that. That's one of our gifts. And so a lot of camps stuck with that for a long time. Our camp pretty quickly started making, and most camps started making many, many different contingency plans. What if we do smaller? What if this happens? What if we do a delayed start? We came up with many different budget models, all these different plans. One of the things our camp is, Eden Village Camp is a farm-to-table overnight camp, all organic food. So one of the things our camp committed to right away was that we were going to grow food and give it away. Right away, we made that decision, and we've already started. Our local food pantry's already seen 5 times the amount of demand that it normally does. And so right away, we made that decision, and we're growing it. But we started making contingency plans. And we started coming together. The camp, I've been a camp director now for 11 years. I can say that the field has never felt so tight. We know each other better. We're working closer. We're helping each other. We've always been a community that shares resources, but it's never been quite like this. I'm on 3 group Zooms with directors and have been for months. And so we came together and started sharing right away. I also feel that my camp, even though we're known for our optimism, pretty quickly, we had the sense that it wasn't going to happen. I mean, we started cutting costs. We stopped capital projects. We had a couple open hires. We stopped those hires. And we're just looking for ways to button up and stay lean. So if camp was canceled. Our camp is, we have about a $2 million budget, and 97% of that is tuition. And so we started buckling up very, very quickly. And we made the decision, the first camp made their decision, I think it was around May 1st to cancel. It was actually the whole reform movement canceled their camps. We did that about 10 days later. And I'll say up until the minute we clicked send on that email to our families, letting them know, we were basically in a holding pattern waiting for a miracle. And I bet many of you have had that in mind. How can we make it work? And we had all these plans, but we were really just at the end, just praying for a miracle. That didn't come. And why did we cancel? I mean, we're an overnight camp. Listen, the idea of social distancing and overnight camp are somewhat I don't know if that's a word, oxymoronic. They're just, we sleep. I mean, social distancing, the kids in our bunks literally sleep on top of each other. They eat in very compact spaces. And it's a bit like a cruise ship. They're all together, and it looks like a bubble, but actually you can't just say come into camp and no one's going to come in and out. We have kids doing urgent care runs, food comes in and out, drop off. We looked at many scenarios, and it didn't seem like for us overnight camp, for being an overnight camp, it would be safe for the kids, for the staff, for my year-round team. I have a couple staff members that are older. for the families that they would have been going home to, for the local hospitals. And so it was horrible making that decision. I made a video telling all the campers, and it was absolutely gut-wrenching. And knowing that I was doing something that was going to be so, they knew it was coming. We called all the families ahead of time and gave them a bit of a heads up. Here's what we're thinking. Seems unlikely, but it was just a vast disappointment. I live to excite and blow the kids' minds. It's like my job in life. Every day I come to work, like, how can we blow kids' minds and open their hearts and get them excited Jewishly? And this was me saying no, pulling that out from them. And they cried a whole lot. And it was really hard. And that was like my lowest point emotionally and personally. I still I'm not only confident it was the right decision to make, it would have been illegal. New York State they just did it only a few days ago, but they said in my state, no, you're not allowed to have overnight camp. What happened next was unbelievable. First, there was radio silence for about 5 minutes after that video announcing it went out. And then it has been only a flood of love and understanding and compassion and togetherness with our community. And I've heard that from almost all the other overnight camps that have had to cancel. It's sad, and we lost something huge. It would have been so good for there to be camp this summer, good for the world, good for the Jewish world, good for these kids, good for the staff. And we lost that. And our community is tighter. I'll talk later about what we are doing this summer. And we're doing a whole lot. Listen, the parents, they've so far, our parents who don't owe us a thing, we've not given them camp this summer, have donated over $200,000 of their tuition to our camp for a service that we did not provide this summer. And when I've been doing these thank you calls to them, they won't hear it. They're just like, no, it's not, why are you even thanking me? We need camp. Like, camp has to exist. This is not my camp. This is the whole field. Camp has to exist. I just called a parent the other day and thanked him. I said, it really feels like you're sending our camp a lifeboat. Like, we don't know how we're going to exist. All of our money comes from tuition. There's no tuition. They said, Yoni, when we found your camp, it was like finding a lifeboat. So there's this amazing mutuality. My life I feels like I'm building a nest of community for their kids. And it feels like in this moment, the nest is holding our organization up. It's been unbelievable. If I could just tangent for a second, camp, in my mind, when I hear stories from my parents, my dad tells me about his grandfather who lived 2 houses over, and that was his Jewish fountain, and where he learned and learned the traditions and why it's important to be Jewish. And same on my mom's side, they lived in the house, and they had such a tight-knit neighborhood of Jewish community. And I know MetroWest is kind of like that. It's a bit of a wonderful Jewish safe haven. Our camp gets about 100 campers from MetroWest area. But camp, in my mind, is more important now because we're taking, most grandparents don't live there. In the community, people are more in their homes, and parents are left to do most of the parenting, where it used to be much more of a community effort. And in my mind, camp is co-parenting. I know it's a bold thing to say, but we are kind of replacing the village that used to raise a kid. And it's where kids, so many of the parents said, what am I going to do? This is where my kid is most excited to be Jewish. This is where my kid chooses. This is so important. When a child chooses to do something rather than is told to or is just entrenched to. But at camps, and certainly at mine, I know very well, they say, this is what I want. I want to daven. I want to say this blessing. I want to be doing this Jewish tradition. I want to bring it home. I got kids going home and they start the brachas, the blessings at the meals. So this is what we need to keep. This is what we need to keep going. I'll share that we going into the future. We have an amazing virtual program coming up starting June 28th. We're calling it. We call it homesteading. It's a Jewish social justice, environmental, farm table summer camp. So we do a lot of homesteading. So we're calling Eden Village Home Instead because they're home instead. And we've got everyday do-it-yourself videos. We've got live cooking classes. We're doing a thing where they make things at home and send them to other kids. There's this exchange going on, a radio show. Our ideal is to get kids to get on the computer, to get them off the computer, which I know sounds like an oxymoron, but it's true. It's what we're doing. Get them on the computer, so they can get off the computer. We have a grant. Your federation gave us a grant. The Jim Joseph Foundation gave us a matching grant. And the UJ Federation just gave us a $350,000 matching grant, which we're about halfway through. And when we get through that grant, that's what'll march us through to next year. And when I think about next summer, I gotta say, there is a lot of unknowns. I mean, we are fully planning to do camp next summer. We're working on all these plans. I think we'll have a lot more information after the summer because there are some camps that are overnight camps somewhere in the United States that are going to try to open. Almost all the Jewish overnight camps in the Northeast have canceled. I think there's a handful of Orthodox camps that are still open, trying to open. But we're going to learn a lot more after this summer. And I think all the camps are going to have a huge scholarship need, much more than they've ever had before going into next summer. But I just want to thank you all for being an ear to camp and what we've been going through. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Yoni. That was both heart-wrenching and inspiring at the same time. Thank you so much. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Mallory Zipkin. She's the director of Camp Yachad, the day camp of the JCC of Central New Jersey that provides incredible summers for children aged 18 months to 14 years, usually serving more than 800 campers each summer. Mallory?
Thanks, Kim, for having me and introducing me. It's so nice to be here today. Yoni, that was beautiful, and I really empathize with what you've been going through, so thank you for sharing that. So we're in a little bit of a different position at Camp Yachad, not any less challenging or heart-wrenching, but with a different outcome. New Jersey is allowing day camps to run this summer, and we are really excited to say that we're going to be there. We're going to be there for our families this summer, and we're going to be able to run safely. So I want to share a little bit sort of about how we got to that decision and what it's been like over the last few weeks getting to this point. So when Governor Murphy gave the okay for youth camps to operate this summer, we were thrilled, but we were cautiously optimistic, and we were not ready to just jump in and say that it was the right choice. We read them, we thought about them, we reached out to experts, we spoke to medical professionals, and we thought a lot about what was the right choice and how we could do things safely. We took a hard stance on the rules and made sure that we were interpreting everything in the strictest ways possible to ensure that we would be able to show our families and our community our commitment this summer to safety. After that, I worked really closely with my team and our marketing director to create something that we're really proud of called our Summer 2020 Playbook. And I believe it's going to be linked to you guys in the chat and also emailed to you later so that you can check it out. This playbook is really a guide that walked our families through what it would look like, what it would feel like, and what they needed to know to make a decision about sending their kids to camp at the JCC this summer. We really tried to think about it from a parent perspective, knowing that there's a lot of uncertainty right now that parents are facing in making really challenging decisions for their family. There's no right or wrong answer here, and I like to believe that that guidebook, coupled with my team's ability to be on the phones and support families in their decision-making process, sort of helped us land to where we are right now. So after sending out our guide, we set a deadline for our families to commit fully by Monday, this past Monday. And I'm proud to say that 230 campers are committed to summer 2020 at Camp Yachad. I'm blown away by it, actually. And I feel so empowered to serve our community at this time of darkness. Last night, Mike Goldstein, our JCC executive director, and I presented to our incredible board of directors our plan to open camp safely this summer based on those numbers. We talked about the fact that typically in a normal year, like Kim mentioned, Camp Yachad serves 850 kids. This year, we're taking a risk. We are serving only 230 campers. Last year, I'm proud to say that our program drove over $1 million in net revenue for our agency. We kick off the fiscal year. We support everything being possible at the JCC. This year, we're looking at driving less than 10% of that. Clearly, the decision to run camp was not one that was based on finances. Camp, like I said, funds our agency, kicks off our year. It's essential to our success and our ability to do the things that we do. We took a step back though, and we really made choices this year, not just on finances, not just on what it would mean for our future, but what it means right now, what it means as it relates to our mission, what it means as it relates to being guided by our values, knowing that we were given the okay to do it safely and that we felt confident that we could do that. Our mission specifically dictates that we serve our community, that we provide programs and services, and that we nurture individuals and families. I can't think of anywhere more appropriate to do that than Camp Yachad. Anyone on this call who has a connection to our JCC here in Scotch Plains knows and can't argue that camp is truly the heart and soul of our J. I feel honored, like I said before, but I also just can't truly imagine any other program to be the thing that guides us out of this time. I feel that it's the right thing to be helping our children reemerge. Obviously, camp will look different this summer. Many of you might be wondering what that means, especially if you haven't had a chance to see our playbook. So a quick look at that. We cut transportation. We typically bus kids from as far as Hoboken and Jersey City, from Essex County, from Union County. We pull in from a lot of different places, and we knew that that would be prohibitive for some of our families, which was upsetting and hard to decide to do. We are reducing our staff to support the reduced number of campers, and our staff are homegrown. They believe in us, they want to be here, and that's going to be devastating, and we're still in the process of working through that. We had to change things like offering lunch. I like to think of camp as being full service. We offer towels, we offer lunch, we give you your shirts, we give you your backpacks, we make it easy for parents. This year, it's not going to be as easy because there's challenges associated with doing things business as usual. Groups will spend time as a family unit and not interact with their peers in the same ways that they normally would. We won't have some of our signature events and experiences like our lively all camp Boker Tov to kick off each morning, our Rockin' Shabbat that I'm sure many of you have experienced before. It's truly identity building for us, these experiences. But make no mistake, Camp Yachad will still be full of spirit and full of fun. I'm confident that camp stands on those things and that nothing can get in the way of that. We're just gonna have to do it differently. And there's no one better than camp professionals to be creative at a time like this and find ways to do things differently. I mentioned a little bit before about how parents reacted to this process, but it's something that I was asked to speak about. And what I wanna say is that it's been really interesting to go through this process with our community and to have one-on-one conversations with families who are each making decisions that make sense for them at this time. There's really no right or wrong answer. I feel strongly that what we're offering is safe. What we're offering complies with everything it must comply with to be done right. And people need to make a choice about what they feel comfortable with. It's not about loyalty. It's not about support. We know our community supports us. We know our community wants to see us thrive. Camp is going to be here for those that want it, and I'm proud of that. What does this mean for 2021, and what does it look like for the future? Like Yoni said, I'm really uncertain about what lies ahead for us. I'd like to believe that next summer, things will be normal again. I'm not sure what normal will look like or feel like coming out of this. As a parent, though, I can tell you that what I hope is that our children are given the tools and support that they need to emerge stronger and more resilient. And I know that camp supports that. And I know that Camp Yachad is lucky to be in a position this summer to do this for our families. I know that our JCC has a long road ahead of us. I know that financially, recovering from this experience is going to be hard. I hope that Camp Yachad can resume its place here at the J as a strong financial pillar, as more than just mission and vision, but also as someone that supports the backbone of our success. Yeah, so thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to answering any other questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mallory. Thank you, Mallory. Thank you for that honest rendition of the very, very difficult challenges that you've had. Thank you to both of you. And you can see, the audience can see the differences between overnight and day, just different challenges in the way you've dealt with it. Thank you so much for sharing. It is now my pleasure to introduce Tracy Levine. She is the director of One Happy Camper NJ, our Jewish Federation of Greater MetroWest program for Jewish Camp. And Tracy, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Okay. Hi, everyone. There I am. So I am just so inspired by our camp directors. As you've heard, they are just amazingly resilient and creative and provide a really important support system for families during these times. You know, even it's always said camp is not a physical place, and camp has really been there throughout this whole pandemic. So we've been working very closely with camps and with our partners at the Foundation for Jewish Camp in formulating our plans for the summer. So what is the Jewish Federation of Greater MetroWest doing for families in camps this summer? I'm going to give a quick overview. You can see some of the info here on the slide. So first, thanks to our Jewish Camp Fund and the Jewish Camp Advisory Council, as Kim mentioned, we are awarding up to $200,000 in COVID relief grants to our 14 partner camps. As you've heard from both of our camps, there's a really significant deficit without camp running or running in a reduced way. And with a match from JCamp 180, that will become $300,000. Secondly, our federation team, including the camp team, the engagement team, the marketing teams, and other colleagues, have been working with community partners on a really amazing array of programs to help children, teens, and camps have a meaningful and engaging summer 2020 season, even without camps, a lot of camps running or camps running differently. Kim mentioned the special grant from the Cooperman family, and we want to give a huge thanks for that. That is enabling numerous programs, including you'll be hearing a lot more about these, young family concerts and Camp in a Box packages that we are doing in partnership with our early childhood centers. 500 families will be receiving those boxes. We are also doing summer fun boxes for One Happy Camper grant recipients and our scholarship campers whose camps were canceled, and we'll be offering them to others as well. We are expanding our teen programs, including our unique senioritis internship program is being doubled to 30 kids, Mitzvah Mania teen service learning programs. And we are really excited because there are a lot of creative virtual programs out there I want to mention, and we've launched a guide to those that we'll send a link to. Some of them are free thanks to financial resources that have been donated to camps, and some of them have a cost. And we are launching an incentive grant to enable more kids in our community to participate in these virtual camp programs that are being offered through camp and are help being facilitated by the Foundation for Jewish Camp. So we're very excited to be able to offer that. In addition, thanks to our wonderful scholarship committee and the Rocker family, and a lot of our scholarship committee members are on today, and our professional staff, Jerry Russo and Jerry Wallace, who work so hard all year, are going to be offering a special higher subsidy for scholarship families as well to be able to participate in virtual programs. And then as always, we are giving guidance to families to connect them with programs for this summer, and very importantly, recruiting for summer 2021, when certainly camp will be needed more than ever. Another great opportunity that I'm going to segue to that will help us get ready for 2021 and also create a lot of fun is our Tour to Summer Camps New Jersey Challenge. So Tour to Summer Camps New Jersey is our annual cycling event, which is our key fundraiser that helps enable us to provide grants and scholarships each summer. Now for summer 2021, there are going to be two cohorts of campers. We have our 300 kids who were supposed to receive grants and scholarships in summer 2020, and we are reserving those grants and scholarships for them to go to camp next summer. And then there will be a new group of 2021 campers that will need to be funded. So it was really important that we continue to have this program. So instead of a large one-day event in the fall, which is not feasible in the current times, This year, it's going to be a 6-week-long virtual challenge from July 15th to August 31st. Everyone of all ages can participate in to cycle outside, spin, ride their Peloton. They will be setting their own goals. We will be creating weekly challenges and prizes and a virtual finish line event. Our internal team, led by Farah Gold, and our amazing committee, led by Susan Ratner and co-chairs Eric Sellinger and John Ulinet, have really been doing an amazing job pivoting this program. And this will get everybody outdoors, exercising, and basically riding in summer 2020 to get more kids to camp in summer 2021. So watch for more info on all of this coming soon. We'll include a lot of information in our follow-up email. And I hope many of you will join us and spread the word to other families. So Kim, I'll shift back to you.
Great. Hold on one sec. Hi. Okay. Thank you so much, Tracy. That was super informative. So one of the first things I wanted to answer the question of is, how can you help? How can folks help? So number one way in Greater MetroWest is Tour to Summer Camps NJ. Hope you can see my t-shirt. And that, as Tracy said, is our primary Jewish camp fundraiser, but also a wonderful, community event. So please sign up, and you're going to be getting links. You're going to be getting links with information, but please sign up. Encourage your friends and family to sign up. People can do this from anywhere. You don't have to be in Greater MetroWest, so you have friends and families who want to join in, and you can make your own challenge. I'm going to be burning up my Peloton all summer long during the challenge. Also, sponsorships are available. We've already been able to line up some major sponsors. Sponsorships can go as started about $1,000 to $5,000 and up from there. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, there'll be wonderful publicity for our sponsors all over the community. And that is definitely a way you can help. That sponsors and riders raising money all helps to go send kids to all of these camps for summer 2021. And as Tracy said, it's going to be our largest cohort ever, we expect. And also we expect the greatest need with what's going on in the economy, that our greatest scholarship need will be summer of 2021 to date. So I just wanted to start out by telling you how you can help. I also wanted to well, I guess now we can open this up to some questions. So just want to see if we have some questions from the audience. Actually, before I will, oh wait, no, we do have some questions. Here we go. How have I know that Yoni, you spoke about this a little bit, but how, for both of you, how have parents responded to camp closings or limited openings?
Me? Okay, so it's been honestly incredible. I would say that every parent, no matter what their decision has been really grateful to be armed with knowledge at this time to make informed decisions for their family and kindness. Many of the parents I spoke to struggle with the decision having nothing to do with our camp, but having to do with things that are sort of outside influences and things having to do with who lives in their home and their comfort level right now. Parents definitely wanted to spend a lot of time talking, and I was happy to give them that time and to spend that time with them. And I imagine it's only the beginning of that, and that will, go on this summer and in the fall and leading up to next year too.
Yeah, some of our calls, right, Mallory, there's sometimes we're a half hour, 40-minute. These are not quick calls. We did call every family, and it was a slow call. One thing I'll just add from is that some parents also expressed appreciation that we did it, so that, because if we had said we were opening, then the parents would have been on the hook to tell their kid, hey, camp's open, but I'm deciding that you can't go. And many parents expressed appreciation that we did that for them. And again, now we weren't even allowed to. New York State canceled camps, overnight camps.
Great. And Tracy, what are you hearing from parents?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've been talking with a lot of families, and there's a really wide spectrum of feedback. I think there are families that are for various reasons, ready, anxious to find camp opportunities for their kids for socialization purposes because they're a dual working family that, needs camp for childcare. They feel comfortable with these procedures. And then there are others that do feel that they have the capacity to be at home and they feel better, having their kids at home and everything in between. So it's interesting because, one family might feel a certain way and not necessarily realize that lots of other families feel a different way. So I'm really excited that there are a lot of different options that are now evolving for families. And I also know that camps and our community, we're so resilient that I know that even if things change over the summer, some camps are talking about, if safety allows, maybe there could be an option for some small outdoor gatherings. Another exciting thing that I don't think we have mentioned yet is a bunch of camps are working on the possibility of family camp and family retreat opportunities, where families would be in their own bunk at camp, because families are looking for a change of venue and looking for, a little getaway. And that's something that numerous Jewish camps are planning. And I say, as always, in my role at Federation, a big part of my job is to be a connector for families with different camp and summer opportunities. So I just welcome folks to call me. I will also say another thing is, obviously this has had a really big impact on staff. This was mentioned briefly, but a huge number of our high school students and college students, they look forward to their summers at camp, not to mention their teen tours, trips to Israel, etc. So our teen team, Yoni and Avi, also working with the camps and a lot of the youth organizations, USY, BBYO, Tel Yehuda, have some really robust programs out there for teens. And Yoni had mentioned to me a while back the phrase he mentioned earlier, which I love, which is getting on the computer to get off the computer. And I found that really inspiring. And I say there's some really great organizations out there really facilitating these virtual camps. And to another point Yoni mentioned, incredible sharing of resources across, not only across camps, but across the whole Jewish community, and even with partners in Israel. Everybody is just collaborating together to be creative. And yeah, I'm not surprised, because I do think camps, camp directors, camp leaders are the most resilient creative professionals out there, but I'm really awed by everything that's being offered. And I'm really proud that we at Federation are able to help be facilitators and help make some of these connections and help connect families.
Great. A couple more questions, but I just wanted to point out to all those on the seminar that we will be sending links to everything, all of the information that we're mentioning. There will be links in a follow-up email, so I didn't want anyone to worry that they have to figure that out themselves. The next question I got was about what procedures are you putting in place for health and safety of children for those that are opening? So I would guess that would be for Mallory or for Camp CDR. Tracy, if you could mention that. So I don't know, Mallory, why don't you take that one on?
A lot of our health and safety procedures are outlined in the playbook that I mentioned that I think we're going to be able to link in the chat, and I know we'll follow up with. For us, it has to do with lots of different things. Things like health screening in the morning upon arrival for staff and campers, things like procedure around sanitization, disinfecting, hand washing, and mask wearing. There's a lot of guidance that we've been given by the state of New Jersey, luckily. And like I mentioned earlier, we've really also leaned beyond that resource on the American Camp Association guidance, as well as local health officials. We have a doctor on our board of directors who's been an incredible partner to me through this process and answering questions and helping to come up with best practice. But it's going to look a little different for every camp, for sure, based on their needs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we might have mentioned that camps Deanie Reback will also be opening in a partial way this summer for families, so probably are having similar procedures, right, Tracy? Yeah. And Yoni, a question for you. Will there be in-person camp tours this summer? How are you going to utilize this summer, I guess, to get ready for summer 2021? Yeah,
there's a lot more we're doing this summer. So we're doing live Zoom camp tours. So we have our farmers and some of my year-round team are up at camp. So people that are interested in camp, we can actually walk you around and show you show you camp. It's not the same as walking around camp, but it's great. We have a camp tour that's also recorded that we're sending to people that are interested. Two things that are also interesting that I didn't mention about our summer offerings. We're doing virtual bunk meetups. It's not the same as being a bunk, but we get the whole session from last summer on a big Zoom call, have 120 kids, and then we do breakout rooms with a counselor from last year. So they're getting bunk time. And so we're doing that this summer, and we're creating for the new campers that this would have been their first summer, or anybody that's just interested in joining a bunk at our camp, we're doing some virtual bunk meetups this summer as well.
Amazing. That's great. So Tracy, can you talk a little bit about virtual offerings overall for people in the community? And I'm going to assume that each camp is going to be offering its own virtual, and then there's other opportunities, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So one great thing about the virtual camps is that it really expands the reach of the camps. And every camp that I have spoken with has said, we are creating these virtual programs, yeah, thumbs up from Yoni, for our campers, but we also welcome everybody to participate. And so there is this silver lining in that sense. What I find is that the virtual programs are kind of a combination of, as Yoni said, the socialization is so important. Yeah. So virtually all of them will have a morning flagpole meetup or a campfire at the end of the week or Shabbat at the end of the week. And then smaller groups, a common ratio I'm seeing is like 1 staff member to 6 kids, and time to interface. And while there'll be structured time, there will also be informal time to socialize. They're not going to be full day. I mean, we know kids are pretty zoomed out from school. So the time frames seem to be like 2 to 3 hours a day, you know, and some camps might be doing younger kids in the morning, older kids in the afternoon, a combination of general fun activities and also specialty. So there are general camps running programs. You know, some examples are virtualsummer.org, which is run by Berkshire Hills Eisenberg Camp. Camp Harlem is having Harlem at Home. Then there are specialty camps, such as 6 Point SciTech Academy. This I thought is amazing. All of their staff, that's a Jewish specialty science and technology camp run by the URJ, the Union for Reform Judaism. Their summer staff is volunteering their time to run a program. And again, and that is a combination of Jewish camp, but with world-class experts in science and technology. Locally, our JCC, MetroWest, has Techie, which is a STEM program, and Triple Threat Theater Camp. While Camp Dini Rebeck is running in person, those programs are going to be virtual for the beginning of the summer. The Foundation for Jewish Camp now has an overarching initiative called Jewish Camp at Home. And a organization called Click to Camp has a great system that enables a very smooth and secure process. So there's also a lot of resources that are enabling these camps to run. I will send a link. We have compiled a list of many programs, some of which I've mentioned, but there are many more. And I mentioned earlier, there's also a bunch of fantastic teen programs, US Wi-Fi, T-Wi-Fi from Tel Yehuda, BBYO, just to name a few. And I'm not, by all means, this is not an inclusive list because there are many, many more, and many more becoming available every day. But I am happy to help connect people with these programs. As I said, we are going to be, you're hearing it here first, we are going to be launching a virtual camp grant up to $180 to fund up to 50% of these programs for those that have a cost. And there are many that are available at no cost. So I hope that answered the question.
As you can tell, Tracy is a fount of knowledge about Jewish camp. You will get the link. You will also get Tracy's email. You know, email her, call her. She can help any family. And so obviously she knows the broad range of what is going on. Before I wrap up, I did want to just say there's a poll coming to you online. So please do fill out the poll before you log off. And I wanted to just take this opportunity to thank our amazing panelists, Yoni and Mallory and Tracy. The Jewish Community Foundation is honored to be part of such an amazing and caring community. Our fund holders have supported the COVID response efforts to the tune of $2.8 million since March 1 and counting. That includes everything, locally, nationally, in Israel, in response to the crisis, which is incredible. Our Center for Strategic Philanthropy, it's part of our JCF. What really differentiates us from other entities out there offering donor advised fund programs. We are, obviously we have a Jewish lens. We are very informative with our families, our fund holders about programs in the Jewish community. We also work multi-generationally with our fund holding families, and we're always delighted to do that. I just wanted to let you know about the upcoming seminars. July 2nd, Elder Care. July 16th is on Jewish education. July 30th on mental health. August 13th, special needs. And August 27th is Israel and overseas. So thank you. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to everyone for joining. And we look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Thank you.